Hello, thank you for having me. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude for being here to present on Teradata solution in the regulatory and risk space, or RegTech. So RegTech is technically a fintech spin-off, from those years with a lot of blockchain in terms of cryptocurrency and a lot of the regulation of of the financial since 2008. So with this new technology, regulatory tech, a lot of companies, a lot of sustainability chiefs, a lot of regulatory chiefs are looking at improving their regulatory compliance from reporting, from analytics, and especially in evaluating investments. So as a bank, as a financial institution, you will want to look at doing better, doing more with less. So technology is one way of doing it. With the other option is running it in shared services and processing it manually with an army of people who's looking at documents day in and day out. All right. So to stay ahead in this fast-changing regulatory reporting industry, we have Teradata. We have solutions that can help support your needs in this particular area. Now, I just want to touch a little bit in terms of regulatory reporting in terms of the scale. So since the 2008 financial crisis, which I earlier mentioned, and ever since 2008, 2012, 15, the Federal Bank of the United States had implemented quantitative easing. So what occurred with quantitative easing is the management in terms of debt, the management in terms of interest rate. So some may argue that it has been artificially inflated or deflated, the way that you look at it. But however, quantitative easing has repercussions and affected all central banks and financial institutions globally. Okay, and since 2015, with the Paris Agreement, with all the countries notarizing, and majority of countries, I think there's only 8 countries which decided not to join the Paris Agreement then. However, with the requirement for sustainability, so the need for regulatory reporting has increased. So besides RegTech, there's other areas like SupTech, like supervisory tech, looking at sustainability, ESG. In some countries, like in Malaysia, we are looking at Sharia compliant equities. There's even green bond sukuk as well. So these are some other areas that, as a financial institution, you might require to report and to have information real time. So 2 times the amount of data collected, and to be doubled by 2024, and a minimum about 850 gig of data moved for regulatory reports. For some institutions, they deployed up to 1,300 staff just to manage their regulatory reporting. So these are occurring in Europe. In Malaysia and the countries in Southeast Asia, it will happen very, very soon. So this is something that we will anticipate. And besides regulatory reporting, there's also statutory and local reporting based on your MFRS, based on your MPSAS, Basel, AMLA, FACTA. There's a lot of requirements, local as well as regional, which is part of the global regulatory reporting, which is exponentially increasing in your segment. And Teradata, obviously, we have a solution. We have a solution in this area that can support in terms of your needs in this space. So talking a little bit in terms of the approaches in meeting reporting requirements. So today is very unreliable, complex, risky. Majority of your data in Excel spreadsheet, in PDF files. So it's literally everywhere in file servers, in desktops, in so even on the cloud. If your financial institution has adopted cloud, as a standard in terms of computational. So having redundant siloed data, where data is often duplicated, requires for multiple reports. So that's the issue. Once you process new reports, then there'll be the issue of generating more compute, server, and storage. So how do you address that? Teradata is able to address that with our solution for Cloud Vantage and as well as Lake. Data quality So there's three-pillar report. Like in sustainability, you have sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. Sector 1 being your direct emissions, sector 2 being your indirect emissions, and sector 3 are your supply chain, which is not within your context or control. So this data quality is a huge area that needs addressed, because the accuracy of data in terms of reporting, yeah, is paramount. There's no doubt they must have most accurate data. Otherwise, the reporting will have repercussion across all the other ratings, etc. So adaptability is important. Like most regulated and controlled environments, adaptability is not a new is not new. Um, and limitations is because of the constraints and the ring fence structured by the authorities, as well as the requirement from um, the different regulatories in country and also abroad. So scalability and is another area. So we do not have infinite resources. So managing at scale is one of the areas that you should approach and look at. So these are 4 areas: redundancy, quality of data, adaptability, and scalability are the key approaches or areas that you should be looking at as a regulatory reporting officer. Okay, the next slide, we are going to address what's your future-ready RegTech solution, right? What you might foresee a reliable data management solution that can scale while controlling your costs. Like we mentioned earlier, about 850 gig for data, and then it's like X times of explosion of data in the next 24 months. So having a future-ready RegTech solution must be able to collect, process, store, and manage large amounts of data to meet the strict SLAs that the financial requirement institution has. This is the second part. So like if a listed company and on the boards, then there's additional amount of SLA that's needed to adhere. So the third is easily leveraging existing data to report on new as well as older data, because like in areas like sustainability, they'll be based on the standard of 2015, 2010, or 2005 based on the emissions, whether it's 1.5 or 2 times. And finally, providing control and governance and full auditability. Audit is very important. We all know that there was a case during the COP26 where our Minister of Environment had presented the information during COP26 and was gummed down by the Wall Street Journal because of the inaccuracy of data. So having control and auditability is very important to avoid all these unnecessary snafus or mistakes, or it's not that he didn't present an accurate picture. It's just that the aftermath of that, the questions and queries, the satellite images in question in terms of Malaysia being a oil-producing country, are we really meeting the requirements of sustainability per se? However, for financial institutions, sustainability is only one aspect, and other aspect like financial regulatory, like regulatory required by the boss and your stakeholders and institutional investors are paramount and important for your needs. Okay, the next topic we'll be looking at is improving that regulatory reporting. So having said, your future RegTech will be to meet all these requirements and able to manage the cost. So the improvement of regulatory reporting is to achieve that peace of mind and with better data management. So Teradata, we partner with Regnology, and there's another which is Suede as well. But what we do on a SaaS model, which is on cloud, is we will be able to manage all this regulatory and reporting and automate it on the cloud. So if you have already implemented, cloud infrastructure, this will help accelerate in terms of your time to market and as well as your total cost of ownership and your return on investment. So in terms of cutting costs by modernizing data ecosystem architecture, doing more with less, reducing the risk of fines, reducing manual analysis and errors, and enabling multiple users to access your reporting workflows and future-proofing with operational resilience. Now, these are the things and areas which Teradata and Regnology is able to provide you with peace of mind and able to manage your data per the regulatory statutory requirements that required, and the analytics which will help support your line of business, your CFO, your operational business, your head of revenue, in terms of a more agile and resilient adaptation when there are changes in terms of the geopolitical and socio-economic changes in time. Simplifying and streamlining regulatory reporting process across the organization, like probably if you heard, I mentioned this of sustainability sector 1, sector 2, and sector 3. So sector 1, you deal with direct emissions coming from your own environment, own entity. Sector 2 are direct emissions, but within your supply chain, your direct supply chain, your first level suppliers. Like within green procurement procedures, you can actually monitor and manage in terms of their compliance in this perspective. And sector 3 are out of bounds, which are within your value supply chain, the suppliers of yours, major supplier, which you have no idea in terms of their compliance, in terms of greenhouse gas emission, where they are even complying to, like even areas like human trafficking, or even other mitigating adaptive problems relatable to sustainability goals. So that's one small example, one area in terms of sustainability, and simplifying and streamlining that reporting across your organization in sector 1, 2, and 3 can be achieved with Teradata and Technology or Suite, which later I'll share in a bit. So having an agile, innovative data management is easy with Teradata and Technology. So Technology has strong repertoire and reputation from Europe, from Ireland in particular, and in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Once if you have that future proof, if you have that vision, that aspiration to have a data management platform for your RegTech needs. So we have this solution with high performance analytics and data platform, and delivering with Abacus 360 banking solution. So Abacus 360 has been accepted by EU. We know that EU is the regulatory capital of the world, and with that we are able to leverage in terms of the innovation and solution from there. So areas like calculation engines, reporting mapping, reports and validation, capital adequacy, leverage ratio, liquidity reports, IFPR, or in Malaysia, MFRS reports, FACTA, AMLA, Basel equivalent reports, and other regulated mandated output formats like statutory requirements from the ministries in Malaysia. So these are some of the things that Technology is able to, with Teradata, deliver today, and as well as customize or innovate for tomorrow. So we are BCBS 239 compliance, which equivalent in Malaysia is standard, and we are able to provide this robust set of capabilities for your needs. Improving regulatory reporting and achieving peace of mind. This is one area that we've discussed. And moving ahead, I would like to talk about unlocking the full potential of your RegTech investment. So RegTech investment, it sells on its own, right? Because with each report, it might cost about 100 to 200,000 based on cost if you are doing it manually. All this can be automated. We have a self-service model. If you are implementing it with the right approach and generating with the right common operating environment for your regulatory needs to fulfill Bank Negara or the Central Bank of Malaysia's processes, and in terms of their regulatory compliance based on your recognized market or whatever business that the financial institution is performing. Okay, so I hope this provide a sufficient explanation or introduction in terms of regulatory analytics or RegTech, right? So there are about 8 or 10 different areas if you look at or zooming into enterprise risk, right? So for group risk management, for enterprise risk, besides I've been mentioning sustainability, there are other areas like op risk, there's tech risk, there's even credit risk, and other enterprise risk pillars, which all can be managed within a single portfolio with Technology and Teradata on the reporting perspective that's needed by the central bank. Anyway, this ends my presentation, and I hope this had been a fruitful discussion and introduction in terms of Teradata and our solution in this space. Okay, I did mention Suede, but it wasn't highlighted in the slides. However, Regnology is our key partner in this area, and we are happy enough to present and provide our deep dive solution in terms of RegTech together to you and your team in the near future. Thank you.